and welcome to Sandship the Last Engineer, last video Anir Nate. Last time we covered basic oil production, which includes making crude oil and light and heavy, and the reason why I refrain to call that refinement, as the game does, is because there's actually another layer to this. The ink industry, plastic industry, and ink mixing, which I'll include as well. Now, right before we begin, you use a lot of paint in this game. It's not used for much. When you use it, you use a lot. But very quickly, a chemical plant takes 3 oil, produces 1 of each. And to make some plastic, just plastic, you take 3 heated carbon. Again, heaters are just better than heat gun, which for some reason is running now. Takes 3 of those, 1 light oil, and that produces a piece of plastic. Now, in order to actually refine the plastic, you throw it into you heat it, shape it, and then send it. Otherwise, you just take that in direct insert. The reason for that one is just that I wanted to... the reason why I have 2 plants is because just 1 chemical plant just produces slightly more... or probably is equal to 1 chemical plant of outputs. Just keep in mind, these sorts of things just... they like to back up a lot. So, be prepared to deal with that. I think probably squeeze another belt for here easily enough. Regardless, that's why I have it set up like this. I have another factory, which is mainly for it, but if you are going to be working with barrels, which I once again will recommend, a simple setup like this is very convenient for making plastic and copper. Cool. But yeah, it just puts in and spits out. Simple enough. And by using a setup like this, you first off have way more room, and second off, don't have to worry about bottlenecking your other factories, because you'll just get more barrels or whatever. There's a reason why the oil plant building, oil factory, the reason why this only does base products, aka it only works on the product, like it works on crude oil, light oil, and heavy oil, is because frankly, you know, it's not actually that efficient to make everything in one building, but it does look kind of nice. Anyways, onto paint. This is the longer section of the video. So paint is made with heavy oil. It's 1 heavy oil and 1 powder, which sounds very generous until you realize the powder is 3 of that resource, and you only get 1 heavy oil per 3 crude oil, which is already 4 water and 2 algae, which is just 6 water in total. And 6 water is, you know, H2O, and, well, would you look at that? That's 12 substance per paint. Don't worry, it gets worse. Or no, 12 plus 3, that's 15 substance per paint. Which, if you believe it or not, I'm starting to get flashbacks to steel. With the fact that 1 plate of steel was also, like, it was ridiculous. It wasn't this bad, actually. But after you're done with that, you take it down here. And here's the reason why oil gets so expensive. To produce paint, right? Produce a bottle of paint, it takes 5. Yes, it takes 5 inks. Now just take the 15 times it by 5. This is where it gets ugly. Once you're done realizing that you need a lot more than you expected, it's time to talk about ink mixing. Actually, one more quick thing about ink, which is... these are your only base colors. Blue, black, yellow, white, and red. Everything else has to be mixed. And also, fun thing I found with pipes was that, you know, the underground pipe is made with pipes, go figure. But the pipe itself is made with springs and wires. Why? Whatever. They're soldering the springs together to make pipes instead of using the pipes you made. So much more efficient. I mean, it is cheaper on steel. It's just why? And the underground are ridiculously expensive. Whatever. mixing. How do you do ink mixing, if you couldn't tell already by the background? Ink mixing is with a chemical mixer. I know, I'm absolutely blown away like you are. Who would have foreseen a mixer being used to mix? Regardless, this is where things get bad. It takes one of paint A, one of paint B, produces one of paint C. Yes, that's a 1 plus 1 equals 1. Yay! And don't forget, it still needs 5 per. And this setup is for tier 2 oil, or tier 2 paint. Tier 1 paint is you add in your base color and you send it out. So that would be, like, for example, black, carbon black, or titanium white. Comet is when you mix the two of them. And with Comet, you can make 2 different tier 3s. The 2 tier 3s are as follows. Don't ask why there's a heater here. I just sort of built it once. And I don't want to get rid of it. So tier 3 is, frankly, quite simple. You just mix it again. Now, if we were to use titanium white twice in a row, we would get silver gray. Or if we do carbon, we use the paint I always use. That paint being Port Gore. Again, I have no idea why I heat this up like 25, it doesn't make sense. But I paint everything in Port Gore. You see it on the printed tiles. If you want to steal my designs, use Port Gore, you're welcome. The plastic is overwhelming. You make way more plastic than you actually need. I'll tell you that much right now. Plastic is not a hard resource to make a lot of. And that's why when I talk about paint, I'd much rather show off the paint factory first. Because, yes, we make quite a bit more paint here. I believe we're backed up on paint. I'll leave it running for this video. I have a better ratio for crude oil being, 1 oxygen, 2 hydrogen. I wonder what that makes. Take that, boil the water into steam. I actually, fun fact about growers is they function just like pipes. The game never says this. It also never implies nor makes any way of noticing it. Just sort of have to figure that one out yourself, I guess. Totally not spoilers for, one of my challenges that I've come with. Anyways, since you can pass water for growers, pass it through, boil the water into steam, compress to crude oil, bada bing bada boom, you got light and heavy oil. Now, light oil is used to make plastic, but by this point you have clearly enough. So, why not make paint? And the nice thing is, the chemical plants delete excess if there's nowhere for it to go. Essentially, if you have a single pipe on the end, it blocks up. But, in this case, the light oil has nowhere to go, and therefore will never back up. Just extract the heavy oil, take it down, and then do all of your mixing. Now, as you can probably tell, the fact that you need 2 carbon and 1 titanium does scale quite a bit. So to do the ratio better, I just wanted to speed this up. Better ratio. And this is what I do for paint. A bit more complex, especially this. I thought it would have a higher throughput, because 2 lines is better. Better than 1. Okay, that's clearly bugged. But, chemical plants are weird. One more thing you should know, although I'm not encouraging this, mind you, is, of course, the one underground. Is you can actually pipe weave, which, I'm gonna show something now that we're at the end of the video. I swear if I see you copy this, I will be mad. This abomination. Yeah, no, it's not good. Do not copy this. You can, but don't. You will regret it once you've built it. I realize you can get quicker with less hydrogen, as long as you don't mind throttling this thing. Plastic was just sort of tucked in here. It goes from here to here, somehow goes from here to like this one. This is where I found out you can just do pipe weaving. There's no penalty. There should be a penalty. And I've basically had to evolve to the point of literally throwing this stuff across my factory, violating, you know, OSHA and overwhelming throwers and stuff. Hey, you know what, it works just fine. You know, there's absolutely nothing wrong to see here. We have open pipes because they are directional inputs. Essentially, the first direction a liquid flows in an open pipe is considered the primary direction, and direction from the other end is blocked, so it acts as either a diode or just as a brick. You can also do that with undergrounds, but they're a bit more expensive. Yeah, you can probably sell in some other factories, but please, do not copy this. It hurts me to look at it. Also, it makes barrels. I don't know where the light air barrel... Where am I even bottling light oil? This? Okay. Again, you do not want to build this. Let's stop looking at it. The tablet's low. The video's gonna end recording or something. Take care of it. And please, don't build this. Build either of these. I'm actually begging of you.